If you drink coffee, if you take Adderall, if you're roided up, if you're on any kind of stimulant, hey, none of my business. All right, none of my business. This ain't personal. It's strictly business, but it's none of my business, but it's still strictly business. I'm just, hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to, deliver the message. That's all. I'm just an innocent messenger, nothing more. I'm not your parent. It's none of my business what you do. This isn't personal. It's strictly business. There are serious consequences to what I would like to call, what I heard other people call for which makes sense, borrowing energy. It's false energy. When you take stimulants, like the act of getting up in the morning and going to the kitchen and making a cup of coffee, that's an act that comes out of a state that feels, hey, I'm tired. I need something to give me a kick so I can get on about my day. So I can do the things that I want to do, whether it's or things that I have to do. Most humans don't have the luxury to do what they want to do. It's what they have to do. Gotta go to work, gotta pay the bills, right? The very state that you're feeling that way, that you need to grab a cup of coffee, already there is something wrong that you have to fix, and that has to do with your physical health. So you go reach for a cup of coffee, already something's wrong. You're borrowing energy, you're creating fake energy. But here's the thing, I don't know which one of them laws, physics laws it is, right? I'm an engineer, but I haven't dabbled in engineering for years, right? I don't even know which one, but the one that says energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. You cannot create it, right? So what you're doing is you're transforming energy by drinking a cup of coffee. Apply that to other stimulants. I'm scapegoating coffee here because it's the most common stimulant that people use. You are telling coffee, hey, could you transform some energy for me from tomorrow? You see? And so you're not creating energy, you're transforming it. You're saying, hey, let me borrow. It's like borrowing money. You don't have, let's say you have $0 in your bank account. You borrow $100. You go to a loan shark, you say, give me $100, I'll pay it back to you. And then you don't pay it back, and then you're in debt, and your debt keeps increasing. That's exactly what's happening, my friends. Borrowing money. You're transforming energy. You say, okay, I'm borrowing from tomorrow, borrowing from the next day, and then you keep doing it every day. So the debt piles up, and then the debt collector comes knocking on the door, says, hey, buddy, hey, 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 it's time to pay back. And then you say, well, I got nothing. Debt collector says, all right, here is a big flu. Sit down, don't move. For 2 weeks, you get a big flu. You're paying back. That's what it is. And food, most of the food that people, so-called food that people consume, is stimulant. It's all stimulants. Then you're knocked out for 2 weeks. You got terrible flu. You're knocked out on your bed. You are paying back. This is nature. Nature is a debt collector. This is nature's way of collecting back the debt. You can't cheat. In other words, you can't cheat nature. You cannot cheat the debt collector. You can't just leave the country and say, all right, I'm going to a different country here. See you later, peace, bye-bye. You can't do that. There are ways where you can, uh, find loopholes in the debt system, but not this debt that we're talking about, my friends. Not the energy debt. Nature will come and claim her money. In other words, her money would be the energy. Says you're knocked out on your bed for 2 weeks. Payback. And the thing is, most people don't just pay back in those 2 weeks. They get up and then their flu is over, right? And then they go back to the habits, and then they continue to build up the debt. And then what happens later on in your life is all the things, the heart disease, blah, 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 diabetes. Do we need to go on about the gut issues, gut inflammation, blah, 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 okay? And then you grow old, and then, you're old and miserable and full of pain, and you got no more energy left. right? And then death comes. Death is the ultimate debt collector, comes in and you know, collects. Okay, now if you really really take care of yourself, you delay the death process, because we're always like, ultimately the energy runs out. Okay, everything, you observe this nature, it's everything is temporary, nothing is permanent. So all of us are creating debt. Even if you're living like a saint, you're creating some debt. Okay, we know now that less eating is gonna prolong life, because you're putting less stress on your body, which means you're still incurring that debt, but it's much slower. And I really believe, no, I don't believe, I know, we can live hundreds of years with the correct living modalities. We can delay the death is the ultimate debt collector. We could really delay that guy. We could just like, hey man, see you in a few hundred years. Okay, so this is what happens when you take stimulants. You're just incurring more debt. Don't get in debt. It's a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea. Any form of debt. You have something now. Whatever energy you have now, this is what you have. Okay, work on the fundamental things in life, like sleep, like diet, like mental health. When I say mental health, I'm saying feeding your mind with the right thinking patterns, with the right environment. Work on those things, the fundamentals, and say, whatever energy I got now, this is, I have to work with that. I'm not like, whatever money you have now, you've got to work with that. Don't borrow money. You got $1,000 right now. You do the best you can with it. Go get another job if you need more money. For the time being, if you got something you need to take care of, just, don't get in debt. Use whatever you have now, and then do whatever needs to be done, and increase that energy. Increase that energy spontaneously, organically, and don't use stimulants. Okay, now if you use them, again, I'm not your parent. It's none of my business. Hey, do what you want with life. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's it. See you guys in the next video.